So the Vintage Collection Koska Reeves and Axe Woves were among some of my most anticipated figures of the year. They were Target exclusive. Koska Reeves came out quite a while ago, and I only got Axe Woves more recently. I wanted to wait to review Koska until I got Axe. I'm happy I did. The wait wasn't too long between them. I think they're really cool. They're repaints of characters and figures we've already gotten. However, I feel like they're executed pretty well. But I do have a couple issues. We'll get into that. But first of all, I want to show off the card backs because, I think the card backs are an important aspect of the vintage collection. So taking a look here, Koska Reeves is pretty cool. I like the picture they chose. The Mandalorian. It looks cool. Then Axe Woves I actually really like. I think that's a really good picture. I think it's nice. I've always liked Axe Woves' helmet. I always thought it looked cool. Unfortunately, we'll talk about it. So as I alluded to, these figures are repaints of figures we've already gotten. Koska Reeves, no surprise, repaint of Bo-Katan, and Axe Woves might be a surprise to some people, is a repaint of the Death Watch Mandalorian, because his armor in the show is physically identical to the Death Watch Mandalorian, except he's got a different paint job. And I think they did a pretty good job. However, each figure has pretty much one issue with them. And we'll start off with Koska Reeves. She is, again, like I said, a Bo-Katan repaint. So she does share all of the awesomeness of Bo-Katan. The superposability, the awesome ball joints at the hips, the helmet that is an interchangeable head and not a helmet you put on the head. We'll talk about that. And a very nice likeness to the actress. I think that looks really cool. That definitely is Sasha Banks right there. That looks really nice. Unfortunately, her inaccuracy lies with the shins. Just like the Black Series figure, she didn't have shin armor in the show, and this figure does, so that's not accurate. Does it look that bad? It doesn't look bad at all. It just isn't accurate. They did resculpt a little bit of her, though. She only has a single holster when Bo-Katan had a double holster. So, hey, at least they did pay a little bit of attention to detail there. The jetpack looks really nice. Overall, it's just a nice-looking figure overall. The articulation, I mean, you can see it. If you're getting these, you have Bo-Katan, so you can probably gather the articulation and the fact that it's very nice. It's a really good figure, really solid. So let's switch out that head and show it with the helmet. Helmet looks fine. Helmet looks really good. I do have that same little issue where I don't feel like the rangefinder lines up as nice. I feel like it probably could have been a little taller, but still, I think it looks the part. She looks really cool with the helmet on. I love all the little silver paint, too. It really makes it nice and worn, nice and detailed. So, it's kind of Bo-Katan, or not Bo-Katan, Koska Reeves in a nutshell. Not much to say. It's Bo-Katan, but more blue. And Axe Woves, then. So, let's just get to it. The helmet's huge. This helmet is enormous, because what they decided to do is make it a helmet that goes on the head. And the helmet is enormous because of that. How enormous? It can actually go over the helmet of Koska Reeves. Axe Woves' helmet is so huge, it can be a helmet for a helmet. That is ridiculous. I do have to say, the sculpt is very nice on it. And now I'm going to keep it like this for a little bit because it's funny. The sculpt is very nice. It looks the part. Unfortunately, when it's not on another helmet, it kind of has a squished look to it. And I tried heating it up. I tried fixing it. It just won't, fix. So unfortunately, it's too big and too squished. And as a result, really kind of, I wouldn't say ruins the look of him, but it really hurts it. Because look at how big his helmet is compared to the people he's fighting alongside with. It doesn't look right. He looks like a giant next to them. And on top of that, the actor himself is not this tall compared to Koska Reeves and Bo-Katan. He's not this tall. He's like half a head taller, not a whole head taller. So, yeah, that's really unfortunate. I do have to say, though, the likeness is really nice. That's him right there. Unfortunately, I don't know his name. I haven't seen him in anything before this, so I'm not really familiar with who the actor is. I do know who's really enthusiastic to play the character, though, so that's cool. It is the Death Watch Mandalorian mold that we have already seen, so it has all the same nice articulation. It really moves good. It feels good. One nice thing is that the jetpack is compatible with the deluxe Boba Fett blast effects, so if you have those, you can pop them in, and they look really cool. Unfortunately, Bo-Katan and Koska Reeves are not compatible with these since their jetpack is smaller. But still, it's a cool inclusion. I kind of wish they would give us more of these somehow. I really like them. So, yeah, both of them just have one single Mandalorian pistol. That's the only weapons they get. They're nice, but man, the helmet is really what kills me on this Axe Woves, unfortunately. I was hoping for him to really fit in along with the other ones, but he just kind of doesn't, because the helmet's huge. The helmet is enormous. And hey, let's bring in another helmeted figure that actually is successful in having a removable helmet. The newer Vintage Collection Boba Fett. He has a removable helmet, and it's not nearly as enormous as Axe Woves. And I do want to try here. Let's see if Boba's helmet fits alright on Axe's head. Axe does have a big head because he has hair. But look, it fits. It fits. It looks fine. I do have to say it is kind of bulging a little bit at the nose area, but it fits. And it's not nearly as enormous as this helmet either. So I'm going to call BS. They really could have made this helmet a lot smaller and made him look a lot better. It's really unfortunate. I was hoping that this Axe Woves would be great. I'm actually surprised that they didn't just do the interchangeable head thing like with the other ones. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. So last but not least, let's finish off the trio. So there we go. There is the Vintage Collection Koska Reeves and Axe Woves. What do I think? They're really cool. They're really nice figures. I'm very happy that we got them in the Vintage Collection, because I thought this trio was super cool in The Mandalorian, and I was really hoping we'd get figures, and thankfully we did. However, I mean, Koska Reeves' little cost-cutting measure at the shins doesn't bother me too much. What surprisingly bothers me is the big friendly giant over there. His helmet's huge. He's too tall. I mean, I can kind of forgive the height because it's a reuse of a Death Watch Mando, and I don't really think they had the heights in mind when they made that. I can forgive that. But the helmet, man, why is it so big? It doesn't have to be so big. You could have made an interchangeable head, because, I mean, the Death Watch, how molds work, essentially. So when this figure was molded and this figure was produced, a spare extra Death Watch helmet was made along with it. However, they didn't use that. They pitched it, they reused the plastic for other things. They should have just used that and saved themselves the effort of remolding a totally new helmet. And, you know, I mean, the head's fine, but the helmet, man, why is it so big? It's so big. At least the paint on it is really good. At least the paint is really nice. But it's so big. It's not okay that Axe Woves' helmet can fit over Bo-Katan's helmet. It's not okay. It's not. So unfortunately, I feel like the more natural way to display these is like this, where they're not wearing the helmets and it's not as obvious that Axe Woves' helmet is freaking huge. It's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. They're still cool figures. I'm just disappointed, man. It's not what I expected. I expected Axe Woves to be super cool, but instead he has a big bucket on his head. Oh well, at the end of the day, they're little action figures. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but this is a review, and I do have to point out that that is a problem with the product that I'm reviewing. I mean, do things that I point out that are wrong personally affect me and bother me? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. In this case, for whatever reason, it does. It bugs me. I'm sorry. Alrighty, guys. I think I've rambled on long enough. There is your review of the Vintage Collection Koska Reeves and Axe Woves. Did I mention they're Target exclusive? At least they're obtainable. I've walked into my local Targets and I see them. They're there. At least they're obtainable. So, hey, go to your local Target, get yourself a Koska Reeves and Axe Woves. For once, you can actually walk into a Target store and find exclusive products. It's pretty nice. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for watching. Special shout out to the patrons of Patreon, as always. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Alrighty, there we go. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.